Welcome to the Lechtich Parsha podcast, where we delve into the Torah's timeless wisdom and uncover uplifting and empowering lessons tailored to the challenges of our generation.
Good to know Shabbos, Parshas Shemos, Tavshin Pei Gimel. Hope you're all well. Hope you had a wonderful week. As we begin Shovavim and we begin to explore and work on becoming better, on working on Inyan Kedusha, on working on Aruchnias, many times challenges, setbacks will crop up, will make us think twice, will make us think that we're not doing enough, we could do more, we can do better, which may be true, but even when we're trying and we think we're doing right, the Yetzer Hara comes and says, no good, you could do more. And that gives us what we call Chalishas Hadas, what we call Yish, despair, discouragement. And in this week's Parsha, there's a beautiful life gem that we must hold on to. There's a story with someone named Reb Nachum Stillerman. They call him, and people like him, called the Alter Mirrors. They've been around in the mirror for many, many years. He's an American, and interestingly enough, he was actually my roommate. He's about 70 years old, I'd imagine. He's an extremely special man, Talmid Chacham. He was so committed to his learning schedule that when I was a bacher in the mirror, he actually used to sleep in my room. He would ask another bacher if he could use his bed during Beis Darm. So I got to know him, and there's a famous story that's told about him with Rav Nosson Tzvi Finkel, the Rosh Yeshiva of the Mir, Zichron Tzadik Levracha. One time, Rabbi Stillerman came to Rav Nosson Tzvi, and he asked him what should he take upon himself to learn after he retires. He was already settling down in his retirement years, and he wanted to take on more learning, more Torah. Now, this is no young man, budding Talmid Chacham, a person who has years ahead of him, which in itself is a tremendous chizik that it's never too late. And he asked Rosh Yeshiva, what can I do? And the Rosh Yeshiva told him, Rav Nosson Tzvi told him, go make a plan, go make a clear, comprehensive plan, and stick to it. So Rabbi Stillerman went home, and halfway jokingly, he actually made a 2,000-page plan, which encompassed, and it was a clearly delineated path as to how to finish Kol Torah Kula, an unbelievable achievement. And he brought it back to the Rosh Yeshiva. It was a 3-volume plan, and he showed it to the Rosh Yeshiva. And the Rosh Yeshiva loved it, and he said, wow, now that's a plan. And Rabbi Stillerman looked at Rosh Yeshiva and said, Rebbe, I mean, this is a halfway joke. I just did it because he told me to do it, but this is literally impossible. And the Rosh Yeshiva of Nosson Tzvi, this was his way. This is the way he dealt with life. This is the way he dealt with everything. He told Reb Nachum, he said, look at me. He said, look at the Mir Yeshiva. Look at what it is. Look at all the buildings, all the bachrim, the thousands of Talmidim in Galai, Rabbanim, Arbitzei Torah, Talmidei Chachamim, people that are mamish sitting by the Gemara, Yomim V'Layla. He said, who built it? And Reb Nachum said, it was you, the Rosh Yeshiva. And the Rosh Yeshiva looked at him and said, look at me, I'm a cripple. I'm half a cripple. I have Parkinson's. I'm not well. I'm not a strong individual. And look what I did. Look what I've built. Look what I've created with a dream. And Rav Nosson Tzvi reached into his desk, took out a paper with a giant plan to knock down all the stores and shops in the area and build the Mir campus in what it is today. And he said, who do you think asked themselves originally, who's going to do this? Who's going to make sure this happens? And Rav Nosson Tzvi said, it was me. And although it was seemingly an impossible task, he had a dream. And Rav Nosson Tzvi told Rav Nachum Stillerman on his mission, on his path to finishing Kol Torah Kula, he said, all you have to do is plan, because in the end it's all up to Hashem. And until today, Rav Nachum Stillerman is known as a man with a plan, and he rigorously keeps to that schedule. I can attest. I've spoken to him about it. I've seen him in the mirror. He lives like a bacher. He's already a man well into his 70s. And it's truly inspiring And it's a true source of chizik for all of us, that no matter what stage you are at life, it's never too late, and we can always grow, and it's with a plan, it's with a solid resolution that we can attain the seemingly unattainable. Nothing is too far. And the same idea of never becoming miyuyish, never becoming filled with despair, with question, we find this idea in this week's parsha. There's a machlokes in the Gemara in Saita, how Basia went to get Moshe Rabbeinu from the river. And according to one opinion, she actually stuck out her hand, as we all know, and it extended, it stretched, Hashem stretched her arm, and she was able to get Moshe. So the obvious question is, what was she thinking? If she was, let's say, 20 feet, 30 feet, perhaps 40 or 50, even 100 feet, but even if it was 5 feet away, what was she thinking? Why did she even think to put her hand into the river that it would eventually get Moshe Rabbeinu? It's impossible. What was the Havamina? So I saw brought down from Rav Meir Soloveitchik in the name of Baruch Ber Leibowitz, the Bechor Shmuel. I saw from the Kotzker as well. They say the lesson we can learn out from here, the lesson we deduce, the life's lesson over here, is when we try, when we make an effort, nothing can stand in our way. When we firmly believe in ourselves, when we believe that there's nothing that's outside of our capabilities, we believe that Hashem is ultimately the one that is going to decide whether what we think is impossible is possible, then we can do anything. We're invincible. Nothing can stop us. And therefore, Basia, she taught us this lesson. She stuck her hand in. She knew there was a baby that had to be saved. And lo and behold, Hashem Taka extended her hand. A nace happened. And she was able to save the Mashin Shal Yisrael, the Manig of Klal Yisrael. And without that, without her hand being extended, but really more fundamentally, without her original fortitude, without her original courage, without her original steadfastness, I'm going to do this. How? I have no idea. How will I end up getting Moshe? I don't know. But in that schus, in that merit, she saved Moshe Rabbeinu, which is how we were led through all the years in the Midbar and on. He was the manig Moshe Rabbeinu. We don't have to talk to him now, but like Kami Sal Moshe Oid, and it was all because of that one step of I'm just going to jump in, that saved Moshe Rabbeinu. On a similar note, we find a very interesting phenomenon. The Medrash tells us that Moshe Rabbeinu and David HaMelech were both shepherds. What's the pshat of that? And not only that, it wasn't a coincidence that they were shepherds. The Medrash tells us that it was only because they were shepherds that they were zeicha to become the people who they were, the leaders, the manhigim of Klal Yisrael. David HaMelech was a king, Moshe Rabbeinu was a manig, and it was because they were shepherds that they were zeicha to the positions, to the roles that they served. So what's the pshat of this? Why is it that only because they were a shepherd were they zeicha, were they able to fill this tremendous role of leadership for Klal Yisrael? So Reb Leib Bakst, the Rosh Yeshiva, explains very beautifully. It's when a person could take himself out of the picture. It's when a person can completely be misbatel, completely give up his own kavod. He could take out his own ego, his own agenda, his own excuses, and only have one central, one focal point, one focus, which is the Rebbeinu Shalom himself. Nothing besides. And when a person can be a shepherd, he could be seemingly the lowest position possible, and he could still be the greatest Eved Hashem. That itself reveals, that itself brings out the true godless of the man, the true level of subservience, of yira, of kavod that he has for the Rebbeinu Shalom, and only from there can come forth godless, can come forth a manhig, can come forth a melech. And the lesson that we can learn from this, of course, is that sometimes we have great ambitions, we have great she'ifas, we have dreams, and we're filled with potential and excitement, and others encourage us, and we're ready to go, we're ready to fight, we're ready to be the greatest. And suddenly we feel resistance, and we're like, what's going on? I'm trying to do this for you, Rabbi Shalom. And what we learn out from here is that sometimes you have to jump in the back seat. Hashem will take care. We might feel like we're being a shepherd now, but that's okay. Don't give up. Be persistent. Don't stop fighting. Because that's going to show Hashem that it's not about you. It's about Hashem. And we can be Oived Hashem. We can serve Hashem even from that place. Even from a place of what we call shiflus, lowliness. When there's no fanfare, there's no glory, that's the greatest godless. And that ultimately, with persistence, will lead to true godless. There's a beautiful quote that I saw from Nosson Wachtvogel in his Sefer Leker Shemis. He says, man is compared to a tree. And just like a tree, all you can do is plant it, but the actual fruits that it bears, we can't control it. So too is the growth of man. A man can merely plant the seeds for himself. But after that, says Reb Nosson, it is absolutely usher to enter the realm, to start thinking about the tzmicha, the production, the peiros. And the lesson from all this is that we have to do our part, and when we do our part, when we try our best, the tzmicha, the production, the outcome, the effect, that's not up to us. That's up to the Rebbeinu Shalom. And sometimes, even when we're doing it the most for the Rebbeinu Shalom, we're doing it with the loftiest, purest kavanas, intentions in mind, and we still feel resistance, that's okay. Then we're going to be like the shepherd. And in that makam of shiflus, in that makam of katnus, in that makam of where there's no cover, where there's no fanfare, we're going to keep on doing the Ratzon Hashem, we're going to keep on fighting, we're going to keep on being mamlech. Eventually, with persistence, we will surely become great. We will surely be able to give over and to help others and ourselves with being marbe kavod shemayim. And with this message in mind, we should be able to inspire ourselves, to help ourselves become big, to live big, and help others. And Mirz Hashem, with the increase, with more mitzvahs, with more kavod shemayim, we should give Hashem a tremendous nachas ruach and be zeicha to a wonderful Shabbos.
I thank each and every one of you for listening. I hope you enjoyed, and I wish you a wonderful Shabbos.